We're back with a work in progress with Mark and Pete.
Hello.
Hey, I'm Mark.
I am Pete.
Absolutely.
That's a 50-50 shot.
That's right.
We got it right.
Would have really thrown you off if I said I was Pete.
I've been like, wait, who am I?
What? I thought I was Pete.
Am I Mark? Have I been Mark this whole time?
This whole time. I think I did own that shirt at one point. So
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a good color.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's nice. It's light. It's got a pocket, so it's like I'm kind of formal, but
yeah. Well, really, I mean, it makes your eyes banger too.
Thank you. You know what I've
really
noticed?
Brings them out. What?
My eye color changes based on my shirt. Does it happen to you?
Yeah, slightly.
You have bluish eyes. Yeah. If I wear like a greener color, my eyes turn like green.
Yeah.
If I wear blue, it's like almost like it matches your shirt. Yeah. And I wonder how much of that is just, it's got to be the person looking, right?
Oh, yeah, like their perception.
Yeah.
If you wear a red shirt, do your eyes turn red?
I don't know. I haven't tried it. I haven't looked. That'd be kind of creepy.
Did you know this is crazy? I still don't understand it, really. My knowledge of it is based off of one TikTok. So, but in some cultures, they don't have the shade blue. Blue is just another shade of green. Really? Yeah. Okay. So they just have greens, and blue is incorporated in those greens.
Interesting.
So, like, have you ever seen like those circles, and you have to find the one that's a different color? Mm-hmm. Like, we would obviously be able to spot the blue one, but they have a harder time spotting it because they're all green to them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I heard that humans can see the most shades of green than any other color. Really? Yeah, and I heard that it's like a developed over like an evolutionary thing because one for knowing like poisonous plants. You know, we all used to be hunter-gatherers way back in the day. Yeah. And then also being able to like decipher like different movements in the like in the wild, you know, from predators and things like that. I don't know. I think it had something to do with that, but like apparently this is similar to your based on
we
TikToks
are experts
and
on this topic.
internet videos. Somebody who knows what they're talking about, I'm sure, said that the shade of, or the color green, humans can see the most shades of that than any other color.
I mean, that's fair because there are a lot of different shades of green.
There are, and you would think that it would be something to do with nature because we are traditionally outdoor animals. Yeah, so
makes sense.
Yeah, over time you'd think we would adapt.
You know what I think is crazy? That red, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is the only color whose lighter shade has its own name.
I've thought this before. I've like actually talked, dude.
It's just light red.
Exactly. You
don't have another color for light blue or light green.
I mean, there's like hundreds of different like shades.
Sure.
If you're like a painter, you're
but like a main color.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had this discussion with people. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Oh, good. Because I thought I was the only one that thought about it too.
No, I'm like, it hit me one day. I'm like, dude, if you mix like a color with white and it becomes like a lighter version of that color. Yeah. Red is the only one where it's like, oh, it's pink. Well, it's light red basically.
That's all it is. Pink
but
is
it gets its own, it gets its own color. Yeah. Light blue is not I mean, there are lots of light blues, but but as far as main colors go.
Yeah, it's not called light blue. The only one that like I could kind of think was like purple and like lavender or something like that. No,
because that's lavender, lavender isn't a main color. It's so interesting. Yeah. 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 No, dude, you're like in my brain.
So I wonder like why?
I don't know.
Like what was so special about pink? I mean, pink's a great color.
Sure.
No issues with pink whatsoever.
No,
I don't know. I want to fight pink.
Someone just decided it was going to be a mainstay. Yeah. In the color scheme.
But this is a good one. This one's going to stay.
Yeah. It's fine.
Well, because I was thinking about it with like the boy and girl differentiation and how it's pink and blue. And you say blue and that could be like anything. Yeah. But with that in particular, it's like a light baby blue. Yeah. Baby blue. But it's not blue and red. That would just be patriotic.
Right. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I also think it's cool that there's like so many colors, but the majority of the colors that we have are like human made. Because like there's only so many shades in nature. Wow. There's tons of greens and blues. Like we just talked about, like the sky and the water, and you know, for blues and all sorts of different greens in nature. Yeah. There's a couple pinks and purples with flowers and stuff like that. Yeah. But like if you think about, you go to like Sherwin-Williams or whatever your local paint store is, and they have 10,000 different paint chips, swatches of paints. It's like, dude, the majority of those don't exist in nature. They weren't just essentially invented, which is kind of crazy.
Hey, we need a paint for this flower.
Yeah. And somebody named all those colors, which is also kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know what I think about sometimes is who names streets? Because all streets currently that exist have a name. So somebody named them all. And I was never asked my input on these street names.
Yeah.
I'd like to have some say in the...
Like, why are they... Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of them are numbers. So it's like first, second, third, whatever. Yeah. That makes sense. But like all of the non-numbered names were eventually... Like who makes that call?
It's got to be like a government thing, right? But like...
You'd think...
There's a lot of streets like named after presidents and stuff.
Yeah.
But then there's also like, you have like the series that are all like types of wood. Maple,
birchwood,
oak, pine.
I grew up on Birchwood Trail.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, I mean, you would think probably at the time they paved the road, maybe they're like, what is the majority tree on this road? Oh, birch. This is Birchwood Trail.
And then they build another street right down here.
Yeah, like
it's Birchwood here too. Shoot,
this is Birchwood 2.0 trail.
You'd think in Wisconsin, like there would be, and maybe there are, like streets named after the different types of cheese.
Maybe there are. Parmesan Road,
Parmesan Parkway,
Brie
Boulevard.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, no, I don't think I've seen any
Swiss Street.
Swiss Street.
Keep them going.
Dude, you're on top of it. Blue Cheese Boulevard?
Blue Cheese Boulevard, there you go.
Yeah.
American Avenue. Is American cheese real cheese?
I don't think so. I've looked at, so I used to work at Piggly Wiggly, and which is a grocery store for our non-Midwestern folk.
Oh, that's right.
And
the pig.
Piggly Wiggly. Shop the pig.
Theme song?
Yeah, that was it. Piggly Wiggly. Shop the pig.
Man.
Yeah. Shop the pig.
Someone got paid a fortune to make that.
I doubt they got paid a fortune. They probably got 20% off Piggly Wiggly.
Got a 20% off coupon.
Yeah, it's like not even that great of a discount. It's like a mediocre discount.
Anyways,
no. What was the question? Oh yeah, so I was like looking at the cheese one time, and the American slices. It's like they call it. It's like a cheese. They call it like a cheese product. Or like cheese flavored slices or something like that. Like I think like the actual American singles, that's not real cheese. It's like rubber, basically. Some sort of edible rubber. It's not good.
I agree. But they do make the best grilled cheese. So.
They do. Well, it's hard to argue with that.
Grilled rubber.
Grilled rubber. Sounds like a name for a street.
Grilled Rubber Roadway.
There you go.
Oh, that's fantastic. So how you been, dude?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Been a while. Thanks to Noah for filling in for me while I was gone. I was out of town. So.
Yeah, it was fun chatting with him. We did a late night one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because he works all day, so we ended up doing it in the evening. So that was awesome. Kind of different, but it was fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I love listening to you guys talk about your family.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
It's something that I love about you guys. That you guys adore your family.
It's something special for sure.
For all of you.
Yeah.
I obviously haven't had lengthy conversations with all of your siblings. But whenever I do, everybody just has nothing but positive things to say about your family, about your parents.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I didn't realize, because when you're in it, you don't know that it's different. But as an adult, seeing so many other people's upbringing and family situations, I was like, oh wow, we really had the Leave It to Beaver kind of Andy Griffith style homegrown family. And it's such a blessing.
But with 7 kids?
7 kids.
7 kids.
Total. I'm the 5th of 7. It was 3 girls and then 4 boys. And it's just amazing that my parents were able to raise us all in a good way.
Yeah.
We were brought up in a Christian home with Christian values, and we were, went to church and our parents stayed together their whole life. They're still together, and which is rare nowadays. The fact there's no like animosity between any of the siblings.
Yeah.
There's no estranged relationships. It's just all like we get together often and everybody loves everybody. And it's pretty incredible that I didn't realize that was the anomaly.
And there were probably seasons of highs and lows and differences and stuff like that. But where you guys are at now is just...
Yeah, I mean, like my brothers and I were like at each other's throats when we were kids, but that's just, siblings being siblings. I feel like it's pretty normal. And then when you get to be an adult, it's nice to have those people that you can be friends with.
Yeah.
But also feel comfortable with knowing that you have them for the long haul because they're your siblings. They're never going away. As far as like, if they move away, it's like, it's still your brother, your sister. Yeah. And every time you have a family get together, they'll still be there. Or if you ever have to call somebody, they're still there.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of times if you have friends that move away, a lot of times it's hard to maintain those relationships.
I'm so bad at it.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah. I'm so bad at maintaining friendships. Like we've lived several different places as we moved growing up and everything. And I developed good friendships at each place, but then we would move and man, I'm just so bad at maintaining friendships.
It's true though, whereas like the amount of interaction you have with people leads to friendships. Cause like high school, you're friends with, whoever you're playing sports with or whatever your extracurriculars are, those are your best friends because you see them all the time.
Yeah.
College, it's usually whoever's in your dorm, the wing of your dorm, or if you're in sports or something, again, or extracurriculars. And that was true for me too. And then I went into the military. So like boot camp, you get super close to people. And then, you go your separate ways and it's tough.
What's the camaraderie like there?
It's awesome.
Is it a lot like college? Is it more than college? Or?
In the military?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it's similar to college, except so there's incredible camaraderie amongst like shared suffering. So I think that's a part of why like the group fitness thing for my gym is so good because it's like you're suffering as a group, right? Yeah. So you get close with those people because it's like they understand my suffering. We went through it together and like you're stronger for it. That's why I think group like sports, like football and stuff is people get, you played football. Yeah. You get so close to your brothers in like football, in the locker room and then you're practicing and you're, all that stuff. You get really close. And then the military is kind of like that times 10.
Yeah.
Because you're going through actual boot camp.
Yeah.
So you get really close to those guys.
Yeah.
I was going to say though, I don't know if this is just a male thing, but I've realized that with my guy friends, it's like I could not see you for 4 years. Yeah. But if we had something like a really close and it's just we haven't seen each other because we're life gets in the way. If we would hang out, it would be like we haven't skipped a beat. Like just do a quick fill in of it in each other, like what we've missed for the past few years, and then it's like right where you're left off. Like I have a military buddy who lives in Ohio now. It's like I feel like I could just actually going to try and meet up with him this summer if I can. But I haven't seen him in like 3 years.
Where in Ohio?
No. I'd have to ask him. But he's a recruiter for the Navy right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But so
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how friendships are, man. When you find the good ones, they're worth holding on to.
Yeah.
But like you said, like, so I moved a bunch of different places, had those relationships, bad holding on to them. But my relationship with my brother is totally different. Like, like it is, he's the one I want to talk to when life is hard. And, and he's the one who knows how to deal with me and how to talk with me at different times. And,
right.
And there's never any awkwardness or anything like that. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss my brother.
Yeah. It was nice to meet him when he came up.
Yeah.
Came and got a workout in at the gym. That was
right.
Cool.
I forgot he did. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, next year we're hoping to go down. They live in Guatemala. So
is it Justin, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys might go down there?
Yeah, we might go down there. And
that'd be fun.
Oh, we'd love it. The kids April and I have been there, but the kids have never been down there. So we want to go down for that. So they can see and experience a different culture too.
Did you go down there without them last time, or were they not born yet last time you went?
Sophia was born, but we left her with my parents.
Okay.
Because it was like a church mission trip.
Sure.
That we went down with them. Yeah. So I think that's what it was. No, or maybe she stayed with April's parents. I don't know. She stayed with one of her grandparents.
You didn't have her.
She wasn't with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome to go down there. Awesome to go down there.
Yeah.
I haven't had a good conversation with you in a few weeks.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
What do you think the meaning of life is?
What the heck?
Let's start at the tippy top and work our way backwards.
Is that a genuine question?
Yeah, what do you think it is? We're getting the nitty gritty. Let's do it. Why are we here?
You came with an agenda, my friend.
Not just was like, you know what? Let's step it up a notch.
It's done talking about friendships and colors.
Everyone gets it. Friendships and colors. We genuinely had like a third grade conversation for like 20 minutes just now. Isn't pink weird?
Pink weird? So what's the purpose of life?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that the purpose of life is to love well and to love others well, to love God well, and to understand and to get to know love himself, and then to live in a way that is so loving that it loves him in return, I'd say.
Okay, what is love then? Since that was your mainstay of what life is to
it's
love.
One of my go-to words.
Yeah, so what is it though? What does that look like?
I mean, I think it depends on the situation, but I think there's no greater love than this, than he who lays down his life for his friends. That love cares for another, despite personality, despite perspective, that love is selfless, that love is patient, love is kind, love does not boast.
All right, you're plagiarizing now. You're stealing. But if you are to plagiarize, though, you might as well plagiarize the Bible.
That's right.
If you're going to take something,
told to dwell on it a little bit. So.
Right.
No, but I think love is genuine care for another and for another's well-being and an elevation of another in support, in reference to God, in worship, in compassion and grace and all of those things. It's getting eyes off of self and onto another. And I think when we do that well, we are agents of renewal in our world. What do you think the purpose of life is?
What do I think the purpose of life is?
Peter.
I think it's so strange. So I'm going to get to it, but first I just had a thought.
Okay.
Kind of along the same thing. And it's like, and you might have some good thoughts on this being a pastor, but so sin, God has definitions of what sin is. And a lot of what sin is humans' natural inclinations. Like it's our natural inclination to, get angry at people who anger us, or to have sinful thoughts of whatever that might be, So sometimes when I'm in seasons of temptation, and I'll just get like angry at God and be like, why would God make humans? Because you'd agree God made humans. Why would God make humans where our natural inclination is to do something? Like that's our temptation of like our inner want is to like do these sinful things. And then God says, oh, those are the things you shouldn't do. So sometimes when you're in that season of temptation, at least for myself, I'm like, he's kind of a jerk in that way. Like, why would he make us and then be like, so all the things that I designed and created you to want to do, don't do any of that stuff. Yeah. You should do this instead. So going back to like purpose of life is almost like a test. It's like a trial, a test. One, I think God did create us to enjoy life. I think that there are a lot of things to enjoy. Family, friends, being outside, doing things that we enjoy to do, whatever that might be for you. Like music is incredible. Nature is amazing. Relationships with people we love. Awesome. I really do think God created us to enjoy those things. But it also seems like God created us to test us because there seems to be a reward on the other side of struggle and suffering. Like fitness wise, you struggle through a workout, you feel better on the other side. You get stronger. Struggle with temptations with food. You eat the thing that you don't really want to eat, like healthy meats and salads and fruit and stuff like that, and avoid the stuff that you want to have, which is the junk food. You feel better when you go through that struggle. You struggle with like lust and stuff like that, but you suffer through that and you decide, I'm going to be monogamous and loyal to one person regardless of my temptations. And then you have a good, strong relationship with that person because you're loyal. So there's fruit and there's good and there's reward, I think, multiple times over when we do struggle and we do what we quote unquote should do. But it's hard to see that when you're in the midst of the temptation. You're like, God's, why would you do this to me? Like I'm designed in a way where my brain wants to do these things. And I would say God designed us, but there's also sin. Okay, I'm going to let you take over. I want to hear your thoughts on, because I just said a lot of things. So I'm going to hear what you.
They're all fantastic, good thoughts to have. I think a big key to it is growth, is that we are meant to grow in this life. And so we think of a child and what a child wants. If Titus had his way, he would eat an ice cream sandwich for every meal, every minute of every day. Right. Am I a jerk by not letting him eat an ice cream sandwich every meal of every day?
Yes. No, that's a great point. Yeah.
Or is it an agent of growth? And so that's why we have this perspective in our mind that struggle is bad.
Yeah, right.
And that suffering is bad.
Right.
And so we think, why does God want to do this terrible thing to us? Rather than recognizing that struggle is an agent for growth. Like it is a means to growth. And so, and you mentioned it too. In certain situations, what our mind and heart wants is the things that we can't have. But hopefully when we grow in certain areas, our heart and mind no longer want those things. True. I mean, you would agree, know this, and I've heard it from people, is that when they eat healthy for long enough, that they're not craving the sugary stuff anymore. True.
Yeah, I've been on both sides of that situation. When I'm in the straight and narrow and eating good food for an extended period of time, and then you see like candy or soda, you actually don't even have the desire. You're actually almost slightly repulsed by it because it's way too sweet. And you're thinking clearly because you've been eating healthy. So it's like, that's going to be harmful and cavities and, all that stuff that comes with it. But you're definitely right.
And same thing in a marriage. Like if you're in a healthy marriage, your deepest longing and attract, like you're still very much driven sexually, but it's directed and joyfully directed towards your wife.
Right.
That she is the one you long for.
Yeah.
And you're not, your heart isn't saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. It's I want her.
Right.
And so that's a product of growth too. And so, and it's a product of looking less at ourselves and more at the beauty of the world that is around us, and looking more at the needs of the world around us. Because sin and struggle, it stems from selfishness. Yeah. It stems from a view of what do I want, what do I need, rather than whom can I love, whom can I serve. Yeah. And so I mean, Augustine used the phrase incurvita sense, which is talking about like Adam and Eve. And the first sin wasn't necessarily eating of the apple, but is when their focus turned from on God to on themselves. And when their focus turned, and incurvita sense means curved in on oneself. And it has this image of like a curved back where your focus is just, your eyes are just on you rather than being upright and your perspective being on God and being on the world. And sin and evil oftentimes comes when we are focused solely on ourselves and on our desires and our wants. And so as a child, that's kind of what we naturally do. We naturally focus on ourselves. What do I want right now?
Yeah.
But through struggle and through growth, our perspective changes, hopefully, to the world around us and to the people around us. That being said, the qualm that I have with our world is that you can do everything perfectly right and still be on the recipient end of evil and struggle. That like you can be the perfect eater, have the perfect physical regiment, and still get cancer.
Right. Yeah.
You can be the perfect husband and your marriage still fall apart. You can be the perfect father and your kids still grow up and don't like you and fly off the handle. Like, because this world has evil in it, sadly, there's just no escaping it. As much as we want to be perfect to obtain perfection, the reality is our world is in need of renewal and is in need of restoration. And I think loving people and loving God is a means to that. But I think it's going to take more too. I don't know. What do you think? Now I just talked a lot.
No, that's good. I like the curved in thing. I think, because I've dealt with issues with like, depression and stuff like that. I know a lot of other people have too. And I think when I am, or when I have been like depressed or in like a lull or a rut, whatever you want to call it, it's because I'm focused on me and everything is me. I feel bad. I feel tired. I don't get enough of whatever the thing might be. And I think we're meant to focus outward. I think we're meant to focus on other people, helping other people, providing value for other people. And that's when we have purpose. And our purpose isn't to be me, which is why I think when we are in that mindset state that we feel so down. We're like, oh, well, I should, I don't, I want, I whatever, me. It's never good.
So then give me clarity and help me process this. Because I agree with what I just said, but...
I agree with me.
But, like, at the same point, there's huge value on focusing on yourself and dealing with some of the issues that form you and make you. And, like if we just focus on others and ignore past trauma, ignore difficult struggles and difficult situations we're in, like that's just sweeping it under the rug, and that's going to make us unhealthy and make us treat other people in an unhealthy way.
Right. Which is where, like, I really love the analogy of the oxygen mask on an airplane.
Yeah.
Where they say, put yours on first and then help other people, because you're not going to be helpful if you can't breathe. Yeah. So that's why when I talk to people about the gym, and they're like, oh, well, I don't have time because I'm a mother and I'm a wife and I'm a full-time employee. And I'm like, how are you going to be the best mother, wife, and full-time employee that you can be if you're exhausted all the time because you don't exercise? You can't make it up a flight of stairs. Yeah. So there's a difference between being completely self-absorbed and taking care of yourself so that you can be helpful for other people, right? Yeah. So it is, I want to be healthy and fit and eat well and take care of myself so that I can bring value to other people and make a meaningful impact in this world and love other people. And what example am I showing if I'm, it's kind of actually hypocritical to say I'm not going to take care of myself so that I can take care of other people. And I'm going to put everyone else first because people will look at your example. And if you're like, oh, well, I'm second to everybody else and I'm just beat and I'm not taking care of myself, you're telling everybody who sees you to do the same thing, basically. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I mean, and you're telling, if you treat yourself like crap, you're telling other people that you should be treated
you're telling
like crap.
everyone else, including like your loved ones, your kids, your spouse, everybody, like, hey, it's okay if you treat yourself like garbage as long as you're putting, other people first. When you can't put other people first if you're treating yourself like trash.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of I don't even know what the verbiage would be to explain it, but it doesn't make sense like a linear thought process.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
And it's probably like a both and situation where it's not just to focus on self and it's not just to focus on others.
Yeah.
I mean, go back to the airplane analogy. Imagine you're flying with Henry and they drop. What is that chaotic situation? What is it going to look like? You're going to be putting on your mask like as you are putting on his.
Yeah, it's going to be super quick.
It's not going to be, let me get mine on, let me get mine adjusted, let me fit it perfectly. Yeah. No, it's let me get mine and get his on. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it is. It is. It's a recognizing self and a reality of self. Not for the purpose of self-glorification, maybe, but for the purpose of recognizing the reality of life that we are all in, and we need help individually, and we can also be those agents of help for other people too.
Yeah.
I think the idea of renewal and resurrection and restoration is just so apparent in Scripture and baked into our world. Even just summer, fall, winter, spring, renewal. The idea of breathing, inhaling and exhaling, all of those things, going to bed at night, laying down and rising in the morning.
Noah and I are huge, I think we actually talked about it, huge proponents of yin yang being completely accurate in almost the entire planet, if you will. Everything is up, down, in, out, light, dark, good, bad. Everything has an opposite. And it's almost like we're here to be the up to the natural down that comes with the evil you're talking about. There's evil in everything. Yeah. But maybe part of our purpose is to combat that with good.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Yeah.
And it's tough to do. And maybe that's what love is. I think a big piece of love too, in my opinion, because it's easy. Sometimes it's easy to love when everything aligns, right? It's it's easy for me to love you. So you're my good buddy and you're very loving. Yeah. It's just easy.
It's my eyes.
It's your eyes. Yeah. Which are black right now because of your shirt. So it's kind of scary. No. But to love the way Jesus loved, which is when it's not reciprocated, when you're mad at somebody, when there's no reason for you to show, any affection in a positive way or to help somebody because they don't deserve it. Yeah. Based on all objective reasoning, if somebody doesn't deserve good or positivity, but you give it anyways, I think that is a huge piece of what love really is. And that is one of the hardest things to do because we have whatever, how our brains are set up is like, if you do X, Y, and Z, you deserve this. Mm-hmm. But grace is undeserved love. Yeah. And that's, I think, one of the hardest things for us as humans to do. But that's what Jesus did. We are the most undeserving of it as sinners. Mm-hmm. And he showed us the ultimate love by giving his life for us. Yeah. Which is wild.
It's crazy. And I mean, it's one of the most difficult things to do. I'm curious, like, I don't know, when we see Jesus, like, because he says, when you love the least of these, or what you've done to the least of these, you've done to me. And like, what those situations will be. And which of those situations those opportunities we missed. And what opportunities that we joyfully walked in that we didn't even realize. Like I firmly believe that God gives us opportunities all the time to participate in the stream of love and in his divine love in unique situations that we sometimes see and sometimes don't. And I'm eager to know kind of what situations we walked in that we were supposed to and which ones I missed. Sophia she's my 6-year-old daughter, and she's incredible. She's my hero. She is just the strongest girl in the world. She has a deep compassion for the homeless.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
So when we're driving, I don't have an option to just drive past. I have to give them money because Sophia makes it. We have to pray for them. She wants to know all about them. She wants to give them rides places, and it's that childlike faith and that love that my 6-year-old daughter teaches me on a regular basis of loving the least of these, loving those whom everyone says just drive past. As she grows up, I hope that continues. And as she grows up, she's going to be given more difficult opportunities to love. And so I hope I can be an example of that for her too.
That's awesome.
We'll see. She's awesome, man.
Yeah, I think what we forget sometimes is when we pray for certain things, that God doesn't just give it to us. He gives us opportunities to work at it. Yeah. Like if I pray for courage, wisdom, love all the time. That's one of my big prayers. Lord, please give me courage, give me wisdom, give me love. Yeah. So that's awesome. And I've seen like people post this online and stuff, and it's true. It's like when you pray for courage, don't expect courage. Expect situations to practice being courageous. I was like, man, that's not fair. Like I just wanted the courage. Exactly. And it's like, Lord, give me wisdom. He's not just going to give you wisdom. He's going to give you situations that you struggle through that you learn from, so you get wisdom. It's like, man, I didn't want that. I didn't want the wisdom.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, we don't think about that often when we're like, Lord, please help me with this. And instead of him just being like, okay, here's the finish line, he's like, okay, well, I'm going to have you run this race so that at the finish line, you'll have what you asked for. And it's like, come on. Okay, fine.
Dude, you're absolutely right.
It's such a struggle.
So like one of the main things I always pray for is peace. I want peace. I just need to clarify with him. Yeah, more.
You got to be more specific, dude.
Specific, because what I mean by that is like nothing going on around me. Right. Like life is smooth and easy.
Right.
But this past Sunday, I preached out of a passage in Philippians, talking about how we can get peace that surpasses all understanding, and how the God of peace will be with you. And Paul's obviously he's writing that from a prison cell, and he's saying to rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. And I gave the illustration of there's a picture of the bird in the storm, I think is what it is. And there's this waterfall and this crazy storm happening, but real small in a little cove in this waterfall goes down, hits a rock and goes over, is a bird sitting on its nest in complete peace. And so the point being that peace isn't our situation. Peace is our perspective, and peace is that we can have peace despite what's going on around us. So this whole time I've been praying for peace, and God's not sending the silent breeze and the calm. He sends the difficulties and the challenges in order for me to understand true peace.
And it's up to you to be the bird chilling amongst the waterfall.
Yeah.
That's wild. Oh, man. And that kind of comes back to like how we wish God was, right?
Yeah.
And how we wish the earth and the planets and everything was aligned. Like we wish for certain things, but that's not how it is.
Yeah.
Like we want to be like, hey, God, just give us this. But God's like, no, this is how it works.
Yeah. And I mean, it's arguable that way is better.
Yeah, probably. Isn't it frustrating that better is usually more difficult?
Yeah.
Like
totally.
It's just like
with health and everything.
Everything.
Spiritual health, emotional health, physical health, everything.
I mean, it's true. Like you get what you work for, like for the most part. And earning something is much more rewarding than being given something. All that stuff is true, but it's just like some days you're just like, I just don't want to keep struggling through it.
Yeah.
I just want a day where like I just have the peace. I don't have to struggle for peace or work towards peace or whatever the thing is that you're praying for that you want. But yeah, everything's better when it's earned, when it's worked for it, when you struggle.
Yeah.
The good things come after that, not just from
you're right.
handouts or easy stuff.
You're right. So the past 2 weeks have been hellish for me. I've been going through a lot of family stuff. My grandma passed away. It's been really, really hard, the stuff we've been dealing with. And then yesterday was Memorial Day. We didn't have any plans. And it was with the kids. We're redecorating bedrooms and stuff. And then we went outside and we had a bonfire. And at one point, we have a hammock. And I was laying in the hammock. Annabelle, our 3-month-old, in one hand, Sophia, our 6-year-old, in my other arm, and we were just laying in the hammock, swaying back and forth. I was just chatting with Sophia about life and school, and then in the background, I hear my wife, April, and my 4-year-old son giggling and laughing on the playset. I just started to cry. I was like, okay, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
It's a beautiful moment, man.
I needed that moment, man.
There's your peace, dude. Right there.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. It was beautiful. Life is hard.
Yeah. I think a lot of parents struggle with that, myself included, because being a parent is tough. It's just so much work. It's constant, and no one prepares you for it. You can't be prepared to become a parent, and you just get thrown into the fire of parenthood. Like that's it. And I was talking with Noah about this. Is like it's a struggle of like so many days when you're just exhausted and you're like, oh, all the things I could have done if I was like didn't have kids, But then on the flip side, like this morning, Henry was looking at Shireen and was like, mommy, smiling and like bobbing his head. Yeah. And she was like, Henry. And he goes, mommy, like playful. Yeah. Like he gets, it's kind of like a game that they're doing.
Yeah.
And it was just the biggest smile on his face. And you're just like, man, there's nothing that someone could give me to like take this away. Or like, there's nothing more worth it than this.
Yeah.
And I think that's like to the struggle thing is parenthood. Being a parent is probably one of the hardest things you can do.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, one of the most rewarding things you could ever have is your kids, especially in those good moments, like on the hammock. So it's like basically summarizing everything we just talked about is like the struggle is worth the reward.
Yeah.
And the struggle of parenthood is worth the reward of when you have those wonderful, like peaceful, giggly, snuggle daddy kind of moments is like, wow.
Those are special moments.
It's so cool, man.
Yeah. How did you say that word?
What?
What was I laying in?
You hammock.
A hammock?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you call it?
I thought you said a hammock.
Did I say hammock?
I know.
I usually say hammock.
Hammock? All right.
I know some people say hammock. Maybe I said hammock, but I don't usually.
Okay.
It's possible I did.
Sorry, I was just going to give you a hard time.
No, that's fine. No, that's too much work. You know what I think? Because we should talk about this. Maybe not today, but a lot of what I feel like the Wisconsin accent is just easier ways to say things.
How so?
Like, okay, so in my opinion, in Wisconsin, we say bag.
Yeah.
Like a grocery bag.
Yeah.
Or, like a plastic bag.
Yeah.
I think that's easy. Bag. Bag. And then I also make the argument of a lot of people say, no, it's bag. Like, I don't have the energy to say bag because you got to go up and over the A for a bag. It's bag. Like bagel.
Wow.
It's straight.
I see. I'm like so Wisconsin now. I didn't even notice anything wrong with it.
Oh my gosh. And people will say flag, like the American flag. Apparently, according to the rest of the country, that's correct. And flag is like, how could you? How dare you? I'm like, no, it's flag. And it's bag. And it's just so it's easier, it's quicker, and you don't have to work for it.
Yeah.
But if you say bag or flag, you have to go like, wow, like
your face like contorts.
Oh, dude, how can
bag?
It's exhausting. So, anyways,
Wisconsin, I just got it right.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more Wisconsin words I can't think of at the moment, but I know bag is one of the big ones that people get frustrated about.
Yeah. I think I'm having more and more Wisconsin accent.
I like it.
Yeah, I notice it every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
The first word, I think I told you the first word I noticed was sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
I say sorry a lot.
Yeah, sorry. I think that's pretty common. And then the O's get dragged out a lot. Like I caught my mom doing it. She said no. No. It's a little Canadian, a little Minnesotan, a little Youper.
Yeah, a little Youper, yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like that whole area, like the O's get dragged out.
Yeah.
And it's not all the time, but once in a while I'll really hear something like boat.
Yeah.
Or no.
Yeah. I hear it in Noah a lot.
Noah.
Well, not the name Noah.
Oh, my brother?
I hear your brother.
My brother says it on?
Yeah. I was like listening to him and I was like, oh, there's a Scotty.
Yeah.
And there. I called it a bubbler like just natively the other day.
Nice.
I was like, oh, well, the bubbler's right up here.
Yeah,
like,
bubbler's a water fountain for any of those
for people who are not in
a drinking water fountain. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like bubbler. It just sounds fun.
And a stop and go light, that just makes so much more sense to me.
Stop and go light versus traffic light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop and go light.
Yeah.
I usually just say stoplights.
Stoplight.
I don't say stop and go at the stoplights.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me.
Stoplight.
Again, easier.
Yeah,
the easiest, quickest, the least amount of effort to get my message across. That's how I try and do it. If I can barely move my mouth, that's ideal. I would not be good in Spanish. You got to work. It's a lot of tongue stuff going on. A lot of rrrs.
You did that really well, though. Look at you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Me llamo. It's not even part of it. El burro.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Recuérdame.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love you. Thanks for letting me chat.
Yeah, dude. Good times.
Be real.
Of course. It's just fun. It's
fun.
Good stuff.
I've missed it.
Yeah, it does feel like it's been a long time since we've had like a time.
Yeah. We love doing this. We're excited. We're going to be starting to have some guests.
Yeah, we got guests coming.
And some collaborations. Some other fun stuff. So if you're listening, keep listening. Mm-hmm. Share it with other people if you want to, so that other people can enjoy the fun too.
Yeah.
As we enjoy it.
Maybe give us a rating on iTunes.
Oh, yeah.
Or Apple Podcasts. You can give us a 5-star.
If it's any less than 5
and Spotify, I think they can do ratings too. That would be cool.
Wow.
That'd be helpful. I watched our trailer recently. I think it's hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
The Spotify trailer that we did. Yeah, it's great. It's great. If you're easily offended, don't go watch it.
That's what I just remember. There was something a little racial.
Yeah. I mean, it's all good.
All right. Well, we love you guys. Thanks so much for listening and being part of our lives.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.